Trae Young is one of those players where I feel like people believe he's overrated because of his popularity and being somewhat annoying to watch, but in all honesty, I actually think he's underrated. I think he's one of the best players and point guards in the league. I think he's pretty easily the best guard in the East. I know there's been some debate around that, but to me, I don't really think that's up for debate. And I see people put guards that just aren't on his level in the same discussion as him. Trae Young is an incredible offensive talent, one of the most gifted players I've ever seen. I want to talk about what makes him so special in this video. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Trae Young. Trae Young is one of the most gifted small guards that basketball has ever seen. In the modern NBA, you don't see guards like Trae Young. You don't see someone this small that's also this productive and this effective as an NBA player. Guys that have frames or the height of Trae usually struggle to find consistent roster spots despite being super talented players. And in a lot of cases, you look at them and think they would be good NBA players if they were 3 to 4 inches taller. But with Trae, you look at him and think he would be unstoppable if he was 3 to 4 inches taller. To me, Trae Young is an outlier in terms of small guards, and one of the biggest outliers in NBA history. He's one of the few in the NBA that we have ever seen to be this small and this productive. And on top of that, the fact that he isn't the explosive athlete that Iverson was, or the strong physical player that Chris Paul and Isaiah Thomas were. And he still has proven to be one of the best players in the NBA at that size, is why I believe Trae Young should be viewed as a generational talent. Because if you look at the top point guard prospects since Trae Young has entered the NBA, only one of them has a similar height to him, and that's Darius Garland. And even with Garland is bigger than Trae, and they have different skill sets in my opinion, even if they have some similarities. If you look at the modern NBA landscape, there is no other 6'1", 165-pound guard that can score at a high level while also being decently efficient, be a massive rim pressure threat that draws fouls at a good rate, and is also a legit top 5 playmaker in the league. What makes Trae Young such a special offensive talent despite his lack of size and explosiveness starts with his quickness, speed, body control, and flexibility. He is incredibly quick and twitchy with one of the best first steps in basketball. He also has great speed that allows him to get to his spots, and also has the body control and flexibility to finish at tough angles and get to spots in ways that most others can't. Add on that while I wouldn't say he's super strong, I wouldn't say he's like Boston Isaiah Thomas or Chris Paul in New Orleans in that regard, he isn't afraid of contact despite being at a massive disadvantage in terms of his frame compared to basically everyone else on an NBA court, and has deceptive strength from his frame. And you have a baseline that when you combine it with his skills, you get somebody that can be as special as he has been at his size. To put into perspective just how special Trae Young has been in the NBA, since the 2019-2020 season, there have been 7 instances where a player has averaged at least 24 points per game and 9 assists per game in a single season. 3 of those instances are LeBron James in 2020, James Harden in 2021, and Nikola Jokic in 2023. What about the other 4? Well, Trae Young holds the other 4 spots for players to put those kind of numbers in a single season over that time span. He also is just one of 2 players in NBA history to average at least those numbers for multiple seasons in a row. The other is Oscar Robertson. That's how good Trae Young has been in his young NBA career. Trae Young is one of the best shot creators in the league. He's a true 3-level scorer and one of the best 3-level scorers in the league. He can hit threes, he has deep shooting range, he's a great mid-range shooter. I would say mid-range shooting is his most underrated offensive skill because he's one of the best in the league at it and nobody really talks about it. He can attack the basket and draw contact. He has one of the best handles in the league. He's a high-field shot creator with plenty of counters and control, even in chaotic situations. He hits tough shots comfortably. He has unreal touch on his shots. He's crafty and creative. And this alone makes him hard to guard because of how gifted of a scorer he is, how high-feel of a scorer he is. His ability to get to his spots, his ability to use counters, his ability to create in ways where he isn't truly stoppable simply by stopping the first move. But when you add his playmaking ability to this, it makes him even harder to stop. Trae Young is one of the best pure playmakers in the NBA. I would argue he's one of the 5 best. He has elite vision. He has elite accuracy. He has high feel as a playmaker. He's incredibly creative. He's a master of manipulating defenses. He's incredible at using his ability to score as a weapon to open up easier looks for his teammates. He understands his scoring gravity perfectly and uses it to his advantage. I think there's this idea around Trae Young that he's a selfish ball hog, but I don't think that's true at all. He's a playmaker at heart that also happens to be a high-level scorer at the same time. He makes those around him better. Playmaking to me has and always will be his best skill on offense. It was the case in high school, it was the case in college, it's been the case in the NBA. Even if he puts up the big scoring numbers, what he does as a playmaker will always be the foundation of his game. He throws lobs, he manipulates shooters open, he can change the entire approach of an opposing defense. He reads opposing defenses very well. That same craft and creativity he has as a scorer is evident in his playmaking. And he is one of the true elite playmakers in the NBA today. And one of the best playmakers basketball has ever seen. I'm not saying that he's top 5, top 10 ever. But if you're talking top 20, top 25 playmakers that the NBA has ever seen, he's easily in that discussion. And I don't think people fully appreciate what he does as a playmaker because of the deep threes that he takes and also the fact that a lot of people just don't like him. But what he does as a playmaker is generational. I truly believe that you can look at him and say he is a generational playmaker because there aren't many that can do it the way he does. Trae Young is truly one of the special talents in the game today. His frame and skill make him stand out among his peers. In a league that's trending towards bigger, versatile offensive creators, Trae Young is an elite player despite being one of the smallest in the league. He puts up video game-like numbers on relatively good efficiency. He's the engine of a team that's capable of going to the playoffs and making noise in the playoffs. He's just as effective as he is electric, and he also has that it factor about him where the game's on the line, and he is going to be that guy that steps up. I can't overstate just how rare of a talent Trae Young is. Guys that small aren't supposed to be this. Guys that small are viewed as massive successes in the NBA if they're 1/4 of the player Trae Young is, let alone what Trae Young is as an NBA player. Are the foul baiting antics annoying? Yes. Is the defense bad? Yes, although he has given more effort under Quinn Snyder in my opinion. But does that take away from the fact that Trae Young is a special talent? No. Trae Young is a generational talent, and if you disagree, I want you to name all the players that are that small that have done what he's done. The only ones that come to mind in recent memory are Allen Iverson, Chris Paul, and Isaiah Thomas. A first ballot Hall of Famer and top 10 shooting guard ever. A future first ballot Hall of Famer and top 10 point guard ever. And a guy who had one of the best scoring peaks we have ever seen from a point guard. And even then, all three of those guys had either strength or athleticism advantages that Trae Young doesn't have. To do what Trae Young has done in the NBA at that size takes generational levels of skill and feel for the game. I know it's been a debate on Twitter that's trending for the past few weeks now about who the best guard in the East is. But to me, Trae Young is by far the best guard in the East. I don't really think it's a debate. No other guard in the East combines top 10 scoring ability and top 10 playmaking ability the way he does. And I would argue top 5 playmaking ability. The only way I think it is even a debate is if that guard in Portland gets traded to Miami or any team in the East. A lot of people don't like Trae Young, and they don't want to admit it, but he's a special talent, one that's undeniable, one that's truly an outlier historically, and one that's on pace for a career that ends with him putting on that gold jacket in Springfield, Massachusetts when it's all said and done. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Trae Young. How good do you think he is? Do you think he's overrated, underrated, properly rated? How good do you think the Hawks are going to be this season? Love to hear all that in the comment section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.